Hello again, everyone. Today we're going to be learning present progressive tense. So to form the present progressive tense in English, we take the verb to be and combine it with another verb ending in ing. For example, I am running. In Japanese, we form the present progressive tense by combining the te form of a verb with the ru verb iru. So for example, if I were to say, Watashi wa hashite imasu, that would mean I am running. And looking at that new verb we introduced, hashiru means to run, and that is an u verb. And looking at a couple other new verbs, we have aruku, to walk, and utau, to sing. So if I were to say, Mariko wa aruite imasu, that would mean Mariko is walking. If I were to say, Jose wa utatte imasu, that would mean Jose is singing. And if I said, Anata wa wine o nonde imasu ka, that would mean, are you drinking wine? So that's our basic introduction to the use of the present progressive tense. However, you're going to notice that in Japanese, we use the present progressive tense in a lot of places where we would use other tenses or possibly even use adjectives in English. Normally, when we do this to describe a current ongoing state of some kind. So we're going to look at a few examples of that, but first, I'm going to introduce a few more verbs because we're going to use those in our examples. So, first up, we have sumu, which means to live. We have okoru, which means to get angry. Kekkon suru, which means to get married. And yaseru, which means to get skinny. If I said, Watashi wa Nihon de sunde imasu, that would mean I live in Japan. Now, this would kind of work if we use the present progressive tense in English as well. We could say, I am living in Japan, and it would pretty much have the same meaning. However, that is not always the case. For example, you'll remember okoru means to get angry. Well, if I said, Takashi-san wa okotte imasu, that would not mean Takashi is getting angry. That would mean Takashi is angry. You'll remember in the last lesson, we learned that shinu means to die. Well, if I were to say, Ano hana wa shinde imasu, that would not mean that flower is dying. It would mean that flower over there is dead. In other words, it is in a present continuous state of being dead, not in the process of dying. We learned that kekkonsuru means to get married. But if I were to say, Meiyari to Chiaki wa kekkon shite imasu, that would not mean Mary and Chiaki are getting married. It would mean Mary and Chiaki are married. Again, they are in a present and continuous state of being married to each other. And again, we learned that yaseru means to get skinny. But if I said, Anata no inu wa yasete imasu, that would not mean your dog is getting skinny. That would mean your dog is skinny. Again, a present and continuous state of being skinny. And finally, if we wanted to use the negative present progressive tense, all we would need to do is change imasu to imasen. So going back to our first example from this lesson, if I said, Watashi wa hashite imasen, that would mean I am not running. So those are the basics of present progressive tense. Now before we go on to our practice, we're just going to learn a couple new vocabulary words. Nani means what. And shiru means to know, as in to know a person, not a fact or some type of information. Also, shiru, despite ending in iru, is actually an u verb, not a ru verb. And now let's practice making some sentences. I am eating bread. Watashi wa pan o tabete imasu. Nagisa is drinking water. Nagisa-san wa mizu o nonde imasu. Michiko is watching a scary movie. Michiko-san wa kowai eiga o mite imasu. What are you doing? Anata wa nani o shite imasu ka? Does Jiro know Ruiz? Jiro-san wa Ruizu-san o shite imasu ka? Momoko is not swimming in the pool. Momoko-san wa puru de oyoide imasen. And that is all for this lesson. See you again in the next one. Ja mata.